safe assurances from others around Mr. Kelly that their daughter would be safe, would be kept out of harm's way, and nothing inappropriate would transpire between their daughter and Mr. Kelly. Under no circumstances would they ever have agreed to allow their daughter to be around Mr. Kelly and others had they thought that she was at risk. There has been a recent claim, there's been a lot of recent claims, unfortunately, that Mr. and Mrs. Clary sold their daughter to Mr. Kelly, knew what was transpiring between their daughter and Mr. Kelly, asked their daughter to take naked pictures and videos with Mr. Kelly, told their daughter to lie to Mr. Kelly and claim that she was 18 when in reality she was 17. All of this is complete and utter nonsense. It is absolutely false, and it can be demonstrated false by countless pieces of evidence, contemporaneous evidence to the time. Mr. Kelly is a sociopath who has preyed on young girls for decades, who has lied to their parents and those around them in an effort to further his deviant sexual behavior. And that is exactly what he did with Azriel Clary, and it continues to this day. This man is a master manipulator who has convinced these young girls to lie in an effort to save him from serious criminal charges. I have spoken to countless young girls, young women now, that were part of his inner circle. They all consistently and independently tell the same story. They talk about the fact that when they were within the circle, they would have basically done anything that this man asked, including lie on his behalf. 4 separate prior victims of Mr. Kelly have independently told me within the last 2 weeks that there was a suicide pact that existed when they were in his inner circle. Namely, that if Mr. Kelly told them to take their lives, they would have done it. They have also told me that if they were still in the mix, if they were still in the circle, they would do it. That is the power and the manipulation that R. Kelly demonstrates on a consistent basis and has so for decades. This guy is a predator, and he deserves to serve the rest of his life in 1 or more prisons here in the United States. Now I'm going to open it up for questions. He's prepared to answer questions.
Oh, to answer questions. Can you talk to us a little bit about your concern for your daughter and what you thought when she said these things to young people?
To hear my daughter discredit us and talk so blunt about us that we would sell her. First of all, videotape her. That's like something I don't even know where she got that from. You know, I have 4 grandkids, granddaughters, and a grandson. We raised a grandson. Azriel was the baby out of 5 kids. Man, anybody could look up Az and see her whole life from 10 on the internet. We got tons and tons of people in Florida that know our credibility. Kids in the neighborhood that dance for my daughter and perform with her, staying at my house every week. So many calls came in of support from young kids to show us that they know this couldn't be true. And that's not Azriel. But for me and my wife to sit there and see our child say them type of things to us, I don't even know how I feel. Like, I'm angry, I'm hurt, and the disrespect that she showed to Gayle King, first I want to apologize to Gayle King for that, because you can go to any school any neighbor. My children was not raised like that. They don't disrespect people like to that level. That's not my daughter. I tell you what it is that's not my daughter. The woman she had become now is like robotic, like somebody that's got an on and off switch that Kelly say this is what he say. It's believable. To say that we wired money, do you know that wires can be tracked down? We open to all our bank accounts. Nothing can prove any wire transfer from rkelly. And we can go back before she even was with him. I didn't meet him till that day she met him in April. This man is a habituous liar. And to take kids, and I understand his method of taking kids because they developing. And you with a man of power and treat people like trash around them and make them feel like they're queens and you roll with me, I got the world under my fingers. That's what he do to children. He talking about kids at 17. So from 17 to 21 now, he had my daughter. So I don't know what type of stuff he probably showed her, whatever lie he told, but maybe he forgot that we had ongoing conversations and text messages that stamped the date. I mean, this has been going on. When we first heard about this nonsense, we addressed Mr. Kelly and everything. I don't even like calling him Mr. Kelly. Let's strike that Kelly, because he don't belong, but deserve a Mr. He's nowhere, no form and fashion a man. The dude is a monster. He's not. The things he do to these young ladies is not human. I mean, no man would do that. And then the world keep forgetting that he cried on TV saying he wanted his children. His children lived in the same state in him forever. I can show you text messages that say, man, go get your own children and love them and give us our children back. So you don't want a relationship with your children. I didn't have anything to do with you stopping you from your children. You talk about you spend all this money on these kids, but yet you don't pay your child support.
Let's take this question.
Sir, what would you say directly to your daughter if she was watching this right now?
If she was watching it, because he don't allow them to do any social media, anything, so they don't know what's going on. So if I had the opportunity for her to hear this, what I would tell her is it's nothing that she could say or do in front of this man, around this man, or in his presence that will ever stop me from loving my child. People don't know how long I've been fighting this fight. This fight been going on 3.5 years when I found out a year later in 2016 about all these allegations from one of his handlers that persuaded me and my wife that everything was okay, a Cheryl Mack, who sat in my wife's face and said everything was okay. So, my daughter was watching this. All is forgiven. I know that's not you. What I want to do is get you help and find out who's Azriel Clary, bring you back to who Azriel Clary really is.
Mr. Clary, we saw you in court when rkelly came into court for the very first time. Were you able to say anything to her in person? What were you saying to her, and what was that like seeing her in that setting, sitting behind him and supporting him when he's being charged with 10 counts of aggravated sexual abuse?
If you was in the courtroom, you watch me, demonstrate my love for my daughter. What I was saying to her was, baby, we love you. You don't have to live with these lies he's telling you. Anything you want to know the truth about, talk to us. He's lying to you. I told her I talked to Dominique, one of the young ladies that was there. I let her know that it's nothing he can do. We always gonna be here for you. Your parents love you. My wife sat there crying and Michael's arms because she couldn't even bear to witness this. And my daughter never once, not even Jocelyn, looked at me in that courtroom. They looked straight from the time they was in that courtroom to the time they left. And I've never seen nobody ever do that. Courtroom doors open, everybody turn around. Everybody look. They look straight the whole entire time. When her eyes started watering up, she got up, they moved her. And you saying she was shadowed around a man, 3 older women, And then when they sat in front of me, I said the same thing, in her ear, in her ear, in her ear. She got up, she moved again, with the same pack following.
Just so we're clear, during that hearing, Mr. Kelly's handlers purposely moved his daughter away from him consistently because they did not want her father to have an opportunity to speak with her, especially when she began to get emotional and tears welled up in her eyes, and it appeared as though she was actually going to communicate with her father. R. Kelly's handlers immediately whisked her into the front of the courtroom to get her away from her own father.
Let me just have a follow-up, Mr. Clary. Mike was talking about the handlers. What would you say to the people around R. Kelly? Because there seemed to be quite a few people that were with them. What would you say to not only R. Kelly, but the people around him and your daughter?
Believe it or not, I've been, like I was stated, fighting this fight for 3.5 years. I know just about all of them, and I have addressed all of them. I'm not playing. That's my child. I'm gonna die trying. That's my baby daughter. It's no other way that I know to do but attack everybody. And when I went at them, they all play like they don't know nothing. Like, no, I never seen this. Oh, I never heard this. You sat in my face and told me everything was okay. Your daughter got a beautiful voice. Oh man, everybody talk about her, this and that, but you never said that her voice wasn't being recorded. You never said that she was some sex slave to this man. Because my wife would have took my daughter, put her back in that car, and drove 100 miles an hour away from them, on the phone with me. These people are sick. I think they more sick than him because they use it as a paycheck. Because me, if you touch a child in any type of way, you're a perverted individual. You cannot be around me, period. I have no association with you. It makes no sense for me justifying a man that repeatedly do sick things to children. And we're not going to talk about the adults, we're going to talk about the kids. R. Kelly has a fetish and a sickness with children. When he deal with women, that's just to throw everybody off. His fetish right now is always been his children. And that's a choice. It's not a sickness, it's a choice. It's a choice. You know.
When is the last time you had direct communication with your daughter?
In the courtroom.
When she actually spoke back to you, though? When is that actually?
Over a phone during a wellness check.
And can you tell us about that?
It was the same thing Jocelyn said on TV, that she said on TV on TMZ, that she just said on the Miss King show, everything. It's the same thing. I'm okay. He taking care of us. We happy. I wish you wouldn't do this, Dad. I love y'all. That's it. Well, she didn't even say I love you no more, because from some of the young ladies that have been away, we learned that they can't say love. Like last night, Joy probably got in trouble that night when she told her little sister she loved her. You can't say you love. That's why you always hear them say they gotta go and they hang up immediately. And it made me reflect back to when the last time I spoke to her on the well-being check was, as soon as we got to the point of the emotional part, I put my grandson up there who loves his aunt, and she wouldn't even look at them. My mother was sitting beside me. They got on there, we was FaceTime, and she did this like this in the camera. Well, I gotta go. I see y'all. And my mother was saying, I love you, and she hung up. That's what they do.
In the CBS interview, your daughter said that you had encouraged her to do sexual videos with R. Kelly. This is all about blackmail. At any point, have you ever requested money from R. Kelly? Has R. Kelly ever given you money? Is this about money?
I mean, I really angered when that question come up, because I think in a man that sat on there and demonstrated all this movement on TV in front of one of the biggest networks ever, I think you would have presented, hey, here's my proof, instead of banging on your chest saying you're fighting for your life. Because if you're fighting for your life, you would have presented, hey, this is where I wire transferred, this is where I did it. That man has never in his life gave me, my wife, or anyone any money that have to do with anything with my daughter or anything else.
They have never, I want to be clear about this. They have never demanded money from R. Kelly. They have not received a